Goes up December. Welcome to the stream.
I've never been this far from the source. No looking back now. Time to leave Majelka behind me.
As he wishes to destroy us and steal Atera's legacy.
No, wait. Oh, it did drop a bow. Good. Oh, wrong. Change my keybinds. Spacebar on email. Oh. Don't do it.
When you arrive, everything like what? Are you good? Now come. Let me watch you fight. Smoke. So much destruction. And for what? Where'd you learn to fight?
Oh.
Quick, before it reaches town. Well done. We're almost there. I'll see you ahead.
Not happening.
Oh no, I didn't mean to click off, dang it. I just want the ring and the bow and the quiver. And I just want everything from the shop. I don't have enough gold anymore. Oh well. Ah, we had an extra bow too we could have sold.
Grail was one of the could let you do this, and our alliance is secure. We'll
And
make
the
our
sword.
way to heal
We missed two
warriors.
things we could have sold. Off. Oh, we got dice. Ooh. Oh no, I went the wrong way. I think I have to go back. I think I need to go over here. Go here and then go right. Still not 5, that sucks. There we go. Oh, you know what? I did not correct my loot filter. It's still my old one. It's probably too strict. Oh no, crap, that's the wrong one too. Ah! No, I delete filter. Oh yeah, phone call. Bloody phone call, man. Oh my goodness. That's so frustrating. I couldn't focus. Some ways to die. Oh well. Oh, I just entered game. That was an accident. Try this again. It's alright, we only got 11 minutes in. It would have been much worse if we were like 11 hours in. Create new character. Now my filter should be correct as well, so that's good.
In the beginning, there
I've never been this far from the suns. No looking back now. Time to leave Majelka behind me.
I think what I want to do is, instead of killing them at the first bird, kill them at the second bird. Let's see how that goes. First bird, second bird. A pretty good experience. Oh, I don't have dash, dang it. Oh, there's a quiver. Give me the quiver. Let's go. Still no dash. Here, let me pick up the same thing that I'm already wearing. Good use of time. Oh.
When you arrived, it was mine. Like, what are you? No, come. Let me watch you fight. Smoke.
They won't forget that one.
So much destruction. And for what? Where did you learn to fight? see you ahead.
Not happening.
Right. Grail was just what he could do this, and our alliance is secure. We'll lend our aid to heal Warrior's army.
Okay, this time we won't mess up our pathing. We're already 4, this is good. We're well ahead of where we were last time. There's another shrine.
Easy. Too easy.
Passes. Nice. Alright. Ooh. Just tanked a bunch of shots there. Great. I didn't know he could spin and shoot at the same time. Great. Awesome. Off to a good start today. Everything is going just dandy. And it changed the stream title to Noob Can't Get Past Level 6.
In the beginning, there was darkness.
I've never been this far from the source. No looking back now. Time to leave Majelka behind me.
As he wishes to destroy us and steal Eterra's legacy. We can't let that happen.
Can I move, please? Thank you. I'll probably take a gold.
What are you? No, come. Let me watch you fight.
Okay, okay.
Smoke.
Got a shrine, maybe gold?
And for what?
Let's go.
Where'd you learn to fight? Quick, before it reaches town. Well done. We're almost there. I see you ahead.
The keepers have proven difficult to track. My observations reveal the truth.
Wow, I can't believe there's no sword. That's so sad.
Right.
Or
Grail was just one bolt, but you could do this, and our alliance is secure. We'll lend our aid to heal Warrior's army.
not the unique we were hoping for. Oh my gosh. Yes, despecialize. Stupid. Told you to despecialize. I don't need you to ask me again. Oh. Whoa! It's bugged. I feel like this guy is really, really hard for like where he's at in this storyline. Like, there's no way you can tank his like or like pillars. Did I not grab the sash? Try that again. Oh, I'm out of pots. Okay. That's no good. That had no pots either. Let's just give me. No, stunning. It's like some little up arrows, I think. Ah! Alright, we're back to where we were. This time wouldn't throw. Passives, 3 passives. Oh, guess I forgot to upgrade. Probably take the dice.
This way. You're here to help protect my son. The drink. Tread carefully. Well, tell you what, let's get out of here first, and then I'll explain more. These peace talks are hardly worth it if we don't know why the riot is after us. I'm sure you have questions, but let me first check and make sure the e-book's safe.
Everything okay? What are we there? Oh, you stay safe. Stay alive.
Where's my belt? There we go. Right.
impressive, but it's mine. No member wing. Time for another bit more wage. Speaking of, let's head back to camp. I must reach Lena at once.
Run. Not happening.
We had a pretty good time.
He's back. He's been quiet.
Especially considering that we are level 9.5.
I'm so sorry to you two. This is what's best for us all.
Our resistance is up. Kind of meh.
The epoch's power. I'll finally be able to.
Need to add this filter here though.
What is this place? I don't seem to have gone far, but everything looks so different. Is there anyone here?
Terra watch over you.
Yes? Gods be with you. Farewell.
Gods be with you. Stay safe.
There's physical resistance.
What brings you here? Terra's grace be with you.
Oh shoot. I got distracted. This way. Big day. Yeah, you don't need help.
Not happening.
What? Go on.
You. Now, the gods have long left this world.
Yo,
Hello.
hello, friend.
Hello.
How's life been?
Busy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
I came back from
Very nice.
the
Very
good
nice.
news is we're moving money. We're closing the deals. So I'm gonna get paid in next week.
Oh, beautiful. Very nice. Yeah. I've been working a lot. I've been very busy. I have some meetings set up with my financial coaching for next week. So that's like super exciting.
That is.
So, and that should actually, that should be, because of the people that I'm going to be working with, it should be a really good, opportunity to acquire some clients.
Right.
So, that's really, really good for me, because it means that I won't have to do stuff like DoorDash.
Oh, true.
Which is what I've been doing quite a bit. Which, to be honest, like, it actually, like, DoorDash pays okay if you are willing to work the right hours, and like, honestly, like riding in the car for a couple of hours, not a big deal. Riding in the car for like 8 hours is a big deal, you know?
Yeah, it makes a big deal.
So it's really hard. It's hard to sustain in high volume. What's so
I told
funny?
Blue he can't. I see in off topic Dusk is like, this is called a pan and stove. And I post a gif of Homer. It's like when you can't even make cereal correctly, and then the lights on fire. Let me tell you, I don't even think he's done that. That's too much. He doesn't have milk.
Alien still, please stop it.
He's one of those people who like, he has like a glass of milk and the cereal, and they're separate.
Oh yes, if even that. If even that. So I am on. So 2 weeks at this point for cannabis. This is easy. The cannabis honestly was not hard at all. What's hard is stopping nicotine.
Yeah. Well,
that's a physical. I literally feel like physical withdrawals that I'm having to deal with. This sucks.
Right.
Like irritability. That's the worst one. I have to literally be aware of how irritable I am, and I'm like, why am I being a little freaking baby? Why am I pulling a tantrum? Like, what am I? This is such a child. But luckily, I catch myself before I do that. But I can feel like, you know how like sometimes you'll envision what you want to do, but it's not necessarily what you do. I literally see myself like sometimes like getting frustrated, hating my desk, but then I'm just like, I'm not gonna do that. That's a childish thing to do, but that's how I feel.
I hear you. I hear you.
You know. But I feel much happier. Which is
so that's the thing about weed in general, and this is why I discourage people from it, is because it does the same thing that an antidepressant does. It doesn't really make you feel like
I think if you're a happy person,
so what it does is
happiness dependent on that feeling.
Well, so it makes it so that your ability to feel things is dampened in general, which results in you feeling more relaxed in general, right? Because you don't have the same sort of like things that would normally cause you to be anxious, right? Because you just, it basically reduces the amount of like
I get more
feeling that you have in general.
I feel more. So what I would say is that it makes your happiness dependent on feelings. Because if I was, let's say I was to do something I enjoy, like video game, I might enjoy the video game, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking to myself that I'd enjoy it even more if I was high. And because I'm constantly comparing it to that feeling, it makes my happiness dependent on how I am, as compared to where I am.
Right. It's because your brain has associated that feeling of enjoyment, like it really what it does is it messes with your dopamine receptors, the way that your brain processes dopamine in general. It's actually the same thing with like pornography, right? Is that it affects how you get dopamine, right? And it makes like things that are like disassociated with that less, like your brain doesn't doesn't associate other things as much with the enjoyment, because
the way
it
I
has.
look at it is that if you're not a high-functioning pothead like myself, and I would say there's not a lot of people who are high-functioning potheads, but I would say that I'm one of the few people that performs at a very high level and can be inebriated, and what I find is that if you're not conscious of that dopamine rush or that euphoria that's associated with it, it can end up creating a that's why you often see with associated like lack of ambition, right?
Right, exactly.
And that's
Exactly.
because
Because you don't get the dopamine
exchange
you don't get the dopamine
from doing hard work,
from
you
doing
do it
hard
just
stuff.
because of smoking.
Right, it makes it easy to get dopamine. Right, and that's exactly the comparison that I was making with like pornography, right? Pornography is a very easy way to get dopamine, right?
Sure.
Without any effort.
Without any hard work, yeah. So that's why for me, the way if I were to try to describe how to be functional or like a high functioning pothead, you have to be aware that that's a reality, and then you also have to essentially hack your dopamine. That's what you're doing. You're literally hacking your dopamine. So instead of it being a natural process, it becomes an artificial process that you become the only discipline or control or master of that. But unfortunately, by separating from that natural process, it's just like anything. Like anything synthetic often becomes a poison. Like that, like too much water can actually be a poison.
Right, so I don't think that it necessarily like here's the thing is it like you can still like choose to make right like decisions that are, consciously like to your benefit that do give you dopamine, right, and train your brain to do that.
Yeah, but this is like a synthetic version of it. Like, for example, I find that instead of taking like vitamin C as a pill, it's a lot better if you just get vitamin C from
right, exactly.
foods that have vitamin C. But cannabis would be likened to getting vitamin C concentrate. And now you have to figure out what's the best way. You got to eat it with food. You got to do all, and because we're not God and we don't know everything, we don't necessarily know how that affects everything else. Whereas like an orange has more than just vitamin C. There's fiber, there's nutrient, calories, all sorts of stuff that make it so that you don't necessarily have to think too hard about it. If you want to have it in the morning, it's a good idea. But if I were to take these vitamins that have vitamin C, if I eat that on an empty stomach, I can get seriously sick. Right? It's because it's removed, it's synthetic, it becomes an extreme of a natural process. That's what pornography is. It's an extreme of a natural process.
Right, exactly.
And an illusion at the same time. It's an extreme illusion
and it's
of a natural process. Yes, that's another thing. It's an illusion. That's probably the worst part of it. And I would argue that cannabis is an illusion what's the word I'm looking for? The illusion of process that dictates a reward system. It's an illusion of a proper reward system.
Right. Which so I guess really like my issue with cannabis, right? And is I don't really like have like a.
I think it can
you have to be extremely disciplined in order for it to be reasonable. I'm not extremely disciplined, and most of the people that I know are not extremely disciplined.
Yeah, well, I would say that I'm somewhat disciplined, and I would say that even if you are quote unquote extremely disciplined, if you took that extreme discipline without cannabis, it would be even better. You know what I mean? So like even if what you're saying is true, it's still just like the idea of good, better, best. I mean, sure, it's good that you have discipline while you smoke, but it'd be better if you didn't, and it'd be best if you create better habits. You know, like.
Right.
But yes, I mean, it's not a. I know many people who are disciplined and can navigate, I would say, cannabis use, but I don't know. I think it's medicine.
I think it's nowhere near as like detrimental as pornography in that regard, right? Right. There's like a.
Well, pornography literally, it can rewire the brain in ways that doesn't even require a substance. It's crazy.
Well, it does. It does the same thing that other substances do, but it does it in like a greater quantity.
What I'm saying is like, okay, it mirrors the effects of drugs, and it's not a drug.
Right.
It's literally a visual stimuli. Like, that's crazy.
It's crazy that our brains are able to do that too.
Yeah.
Well, and that's okay. So that's the other thing, right? Is if you can train your brain to through discipline by like engaging in hard stuff, right? To trigger the same reward, the same like and wire your brain in a way that is rewarded for doing the hard stuff, right? Like that's how people like become like extremely successful in general, right?
Yeah.
And they get addicted to well, yeah, they get addicted to
and everyone defines success differently, but ultimately they get addicted to success, like the ability of the idea of hard work and achieving.
Well, yeah, so they get addicted with the result, right? But in order to get the results, you first have to like you have to train your brain to get these results, right? You don't just get the results and then it's not like pornography where it's just free, right? Or any other substance. It's also not like you go out and hang out with friends either, right? Like even though I would say that that's a healthy practice, right? Like it doesn't require the same kind of effort that and the thing is, like, if you're able to train yourself to do something hard and want it bad enough that you're willing to do the hard work, right? Then, because the thing about, like, let's say like an addiction, right, is that like the thing about an addiction is that like you'll go above and beyond what you would normally rationally do to satisfy whatever it is that you're like craving, right? And so if you can like get addicted to the rewards of doing hard work, right, then you're a lot more willing to do the hard work that's involved with it.
Absolutely. That's why I would say this generation is very hard for them to keep relationships.
Well, it's because instant gratification is so easy now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so much easier like than it used to be. And it's going to continue to get easier, right? Because the reality is that that's what people want.
AI.
Well, I mean that's what people are pursuing though, right? Is how can I feel better easier?
Yeah, how can I take a pill to be happy? Give me the happy pill. There's a lot. That's why we literally have a society that needs to feel that. Just give me a pill that makes me happy, and I'll take it every day. And if you tell me that it's because of a deeper problem, if it has to do with my character or my actions, I don't believe you. You're just not trusting science. It's literally because it's a chemical process in my brain that's causing this. You don't understand. You just don't trust science. And it's like, well, I mean, have you tried the opposite, the other one? Like, have you tried to create better habits? Like, have you really been honest with yourself, or are you lying to yourself like you are right now?
Right. Well, and that's the thing is that like one is synthetic and one is real, right?
Yeah. Both can create results, but the thing is about illusion is that it never truly feels real. It always feels
it's once the illusion's gone, right? You're still exactly where you were.
Yeah.
And no illusion lasts forever.
But what's done is done.
That's why I'm actually, as much as I actually disagree with Jordan Peterson taking antidepressants, I find it to be very admirable that he stopped and he was honest with it, and he came to terms that it was dangerous, it is dangerous, and that he was avoiding his own real problems. And to me, that's really what's important, that the process of going through, because we're all human, we make mistakes. I don't think that he's beyond reproach or he's beyond redemption. I think that the fact that he even came to this conclusion shows that he's on the right path. You know?
Right.
Like, don't get me wrong, do I agree with his decision? No. It's not the decision I would make, but I also am not living his life. So who am I to judge?
Well, I think, like, here's the thing, is I think that, frick, I hate this stupid quest. So antidepressants are a tool, right? That many people end up using for the rest of their lives, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I am of the position that you are able to deal with pretty much anything. Mm-hmm. Insofar as like obviously, like, if you're like mentally incapacitated, meaning that like you have a brain that actually has like physical structural, you know, damage or whatever, there's nothing that you can do about that. But the thing about the brain is the brain is like, it's really, the brain is by far, yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's good.
I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good.
Not happening.
Why? Thank you. There is an old passage to the surface. I will dispel your mourning that keeps it sealed. The temple of it is far advanced.
I'm so confused. Did I not change my relic to 2? I guess I didn't. Date. This is a lot of damage. I think I swapped these actually.
God's game. Stay safe.
Paintings. Yes.
Wait, did I check for rings?
May a terror smile upon you.
Not happening.
Just not very too poison. Okay. Actually didn't know this guy was here. I always miss him. What's my void resistance? 8. Terrible.
I'd have to leave in like a few minutes, but I'll be here for that till then.
Right on. So anyway,
He's like, so brain, something about brain.
dude, the brain is like, it's literally the coolest thing in the world.
I actually think you know what? People always focus about the brain, but people rarely talk about how we have thinking bodies all throughout our body. Like, okay, when you think of Hinduism and you talk about the chakras, science is now confirming that we literally have neurons that do think in our heart, in our stomach, and I wouldn't even be surprised if in our genitals. I mean, just think of how many people think with their dick. I mean, it's a metaphor, but it's also a literal thing.
So here's the thing about the brain, right? Is as much as like you're able to like, let's say like grow your muscles, right, from working out. The brain's ability to be trained is like
About the folds in our brain.
so like I'll actually, to make this maybe a little bit simpler to understand, I'm gonna actually use neuromorphic chip processing, which is a type of CPU that is newly developed. So normal CPU's architecture basically is just like, it's basically this one-track sort of process that these it's the computing power, right, of the computer, where it does all of the computations, but it relies on random access memory in order to actually like, in order to function, right? Because even though it has good processing ability, it doesn't actually store memory at all.
Yeah,
it just processes it. Now, the thing about the brain, right, is that the brain does both. But the brain doesn't have them separated. And that's actually the neuromorphic chip is a design that is based around the architecture of the brain. And what it does,
which is why they call it a neuromorphic chip.
Right, exactly. And what it does is it creates local memory as it processes, and then it destroys that memory once it's no longer processing it.
Kind of like the brain.
That's exactly what the brain does. The brain does it extremely efficiently, though, like insanely efficiently, right?
And it doesn't necessarily completely forget the memory. It will actually categorize parts of that memory so that it can be accessed at a later point.
So aspects of it does, and aspects of it does not, right? And basically how this works is that the way that it categorizes, it basically, this is the way that your brain functions on just like a visual level, right? Is that you basically just have these stems that come from, you have like these general sections of the brain that are designed for processing, you know, certain things, right? They're very efficient at processing certain things. But what it does is it creates these neural pathways, and it has the ability to create and destroy these neural pathways for literally everything. So it creates a localized memory, but really what it does is it creates a neural pathway, right? And that's why you can memorize by repetition. Is because as you travel a neural pathway, right? As you travel a neural pathway, it literally strengthens that neural pathway. And so the more that you do something, right, the stronger and more like literally physically bigger that neural pathway becomes, like in a very physical sense, like a muscle. But the thing is, you can like not travel neural pathways, right? And they will decrease. And so the thing about like memory, right, is that you can particularly when it comes to just like the ability to compute things, right? Like the reason that you forget things is because you didn't spend enough time on that neural pathway to actually establish it as like as something that's permanent, right? Because the reality is that like very little about the brain is actually permanent, which is really crazy.
Except for brain damage. Just kidding.
Yeah, I have some of that.
Yeah.
That's what my friends tell me, at least.
Yeah, I definitely have that.
They tell me they love me and that I have brain damage.
That's right. Well, technically, you definitely did hurt your brain. I don't think you did. Damaging would look a lot different.
But no, like, it's so cool. That's why there's set statistical time frames, like 60 days or 90 days. I don't know what it is. So like, I think it's 60 days that you can build habits in just by implementing something for that period of time, is because that's sufficient amount of time to establish a neural pathway that is like well enough established to that it's not going to fade.
Right.
Obviously with anything, like, it can fade if you neglect to train it, right? But like the brain does it better than any other, like it's like a muscle, but it's just like a infinitely more efficient muscle than everything else.
Oh, and it's also one that people think we are the brain, but actually the brain is just it is literally I would say a byproduct of something else. Or a tool, or
right, exactly.
Because otherwise, where do thoughts come from? Even having a meta-analysis of your thoughts, like, is that the brain examining itself, creating nothing out of something? Like, could we describe that as something else, like spirit? You know?
Well, and that's the thing, is like you're able to control your brain. Right?
Our brain is controlling. Well, not
like
everyone.
If you're looking at a textbook definition of the soul, right? That is actually like used as proof of a soul. Of something
but
that
soul
is
not a scientific term, it's a philosophical one.
right, but the fact that your brain is not actually you, right?
Yes.
That you can basically remove any component of you and it's not actually you, right? Is used for that sort of. I mean, it's not even really an argument. Unlike
I mean,
like
I
theism.
just find it very interesting that we have this crisis. I would call it gender dysphoric crisis in America, and it all stems from this idea that they are born in the wrong body. But that's very strange because how can someone be born in the wrong body? We aren't our souls, we're our minds and our bodies. Like what is it that got put in the wrong body? Because oftentimes what the argument for this is science. Well, science says that gender is a different it's different than biological gender. Gender is different than sex. You know, and they try to make these clear distinctions based on science. But the whole premise that it even began is the idea that there is something outside your body, separate, immaterial, something you can't touch or you can only feel it. And it got placed in the wrong body. How did this thing get placed in the wrong body? Because of science? The science what puts you in the wrong body? The argument starts to deteriorate, especially since it comes even from an atheistic point of view. On these religious concepts, it starts to really delve into like things that usually are only talked about in religious context, like the soul.
And that's that's what I was going to say. Is the soul is actually something that like the vast majority of even atheists are in agreement about.
Yeah, but the issue with being in agreement for this is that oftentimes all their arguments are based off of this new world religion, which is science. And so the issue with science is that it can't prove the soul. Everything in science is about being provable.
I don't think so. I think that science is about something that is it doesn't have to be provable so much as it has to like.
I mean, otherwise it's theory to me. Otherwise it's theory. If you cannot prove
okay,
it, it is not science. It is just a theory. But it can still follow the scientific principles and methodology. But the science that we understand today have to be things that are empirical, observable, and on some level even repeatable. And so, if it is that you can't prove it, then it is just a theory. It's not science. It may follow the scientific process, but it's not a scientific fact. But oftentimes people will talk about like the soul as if it's a scientific fact.
Right. No, I don't. I think that scientific theory and scientific fact are not. I think that they're both. Something can be scientific without necessarily being provable.
But that's the issue I have, because oftentimes people will say, well, I believe in facts, I believe in science.
Okay,
and then
what I don't believe in something that is disprovable.
And if we're going by this logic, then that means that even the concept of the Big Bang is a moment of faith that one must hold in order to actually believe in science. Like they try to discredit religion through these really strange, honestly weak arguments that, oh, I only believe in facts, but then they'll hold these very strange contradictory things like the soul, right? They'll hold this contradictory thing, like the Big Bang. They'll hold these contradictory ideas of things that they can't necessarily prove. You can't touch it, you can't observe it, you can't even replicate it. And if you're based off of, if we then can humor theory, then what's to say that religion can't be a theory within that can exist and that literally can coexist with science?
So here's the thing about proofs, right? Is you can actually prove something through the law of contradiction.
That's philosophy then. That's not science.
No. That is a mathematically justifiable way that you can always prove something to be true.
That's not.
Look up the law of contradiction. It's a mathematical process that results in something being true 100% of the time. Like
logic is a form of philosophy. So I think this leans more towards a philosophical understanding of science, not necessarily the empirical observation of science. And most people these days are obsessed with the idea of the observable phenomena, the observable world. Very empirical.
Right, but this is
the moment you start to deal with law of contradiction, now you're talking about like philosophical ideas.
No, logic. You're mistaken. You're mistaken. Look up the law of contradiction.
The law, but okay, laws of logic, the law of contradiction, the law of excluded middle, the principle of identity. Three laws.
No. Okay, not laws of logic. I'm talking about.
I'm literally looking at the law of contradiction. It's actually called. There's two of them. There's a law of non-contradiction, and then there's also law of contradiction. But it literally is a this concept actually stems from Aristotle. It was first talked about as a philosophical concept, and it was a metaphysical one. And so like if even though it can exist within science, it stems from something that is observed.
Look up logical proofs. Look up logical
proofs.
Because I might be using the incorrect term, but I think that that proof by contradiction is in fact a legal proof. I could be mistaken about the name.
Like I said, we have to. So philosophy and science can be mutually inclusive and exclusive of one another. Right? You can have.
Well, ideally, right? You have philosophy that's based in science, or in
vice versa. Or science that is based in philosophy, the love of wisdom. Like philosophy literally means love of wisdom, and science is literally the observation of the art. It's an empirical observation of the world around us. So you can have both. You can have a love of wisdom, and you can have a law of the empirical. But the difference is that the science only dwells within concepts that are observable and empirical. The moment you start to enter into metaphysical, unobservable, immaterial, now you're entering the realms of philosophy. And so like when you talk about like the law of contradiction, you're essentially applying philosophy to science in a way that makes logical sense, right? Because philosophy often follows logos. Logos is like one of the fundamental pillars of philosophy. But the issue with it is that science, especially as the way we know it, is often predicated on this observable, repeatable phenomenon, right? And these concepts like, the law of contradiction, oftentimes there is no observable phenomena other than the one that you can make by writing it on paper and making a formula of it. But it doesn't necessarily mean it exists because you're observing something immaterial, like you're observing something metaphysical. So that's why I say there's contradiction to me within science, where they'll hold these both things to be true. I'm on the same opinion of you. I think that you can use logos, rationale, philosophy to observe things that are not necessarily present or observable.
Well,
I'm 100%
okay, so
but the issue I have is that a lot of these new age terms like non-binary, gender fluid, are also turned into a scientific term, and this phenomena is completely immaterial. It's completely unobservable. The only reason it's observable is because it manifests through the ideas of men. It doesn't necessarily exist as a natural truth. It exists because we can make it true from something that's immaterial. Because we have things like the soul, we have things like spirit.
Right. So let's say just to make this very elementary. If you have something that you assume to be true, right?
Sure.
Then sometimes you can't prove that something is true by assuming that it is true. But an alternative to that is that you can assume that it is not true, and using logical proof, you can actually, by proving that assumption is false, prove that the alternative assumption is true. Now obviously this is true. Is true. So let's say that you assume something is true. This is something that, like, I've literally, like, taken mathematical courses on. This is fairly, like, high level math. And it actually frustrates me some, like this whole, like, concept really frustrated me when I was doing it, because it was really, this is a really hard thing to, like, wrap your brain around, right? But it always works out. It always makes sense.
Just so we're clear, math. So math doesn't stem. Philosophy. Yes, math actually stems from philosophy. Just so we are clear. So like, if you even look at the first manuscripts of philosophy, and you start to look at the history of philosophy, you'll actually see a lot of these terms, like even the Pythagorean theorem. Where did that stem from? But you think that math was just something that was just science and we all just knew it. No, it came from philosophy, this love of wisdom that they discovered. What they believed was the language of God. They believed that there was something divine about numbers, and about logic, and about how they interacted with one another, and they wanted to observe it in ways that they can then share it with others in a logical, repeatable way. So, like, even some of the more modern interpretations of math actually stem from this concept in philosophy, where they would literally, the only difference between the formulas that were spoken in philosophy and the formulas that we see in math is that those letters represented concepts that were philosophical concepts. And then they applied numbers to them, and they started to apply, and it expanded into many different understandings of wisdom.
I don't my interest is not in, like, exploring whether this is philosophical or not. That's kind of beside the point.
No, I brought it back to that. No, it is part of the point, because what I'm trying to say is that math can be philosophy, but philosophy cannot always be math. And by because of that, there are often times we look at these things as like, oh, well, this is actually a scientific method. I would say that science stems from philosophy, not the other way around.
But what I would say to that is that's because of a lack of understanding of math. And here's the thing. Okay.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? I mean, at this point, we're arguing what came first.
Well, not okay. Can I?
But I know the answer to that. I just want you to know I know the answer to that. So what you're saying is science existed before philosophy. Correct. But we discovered math. We didn't invent math. We discovered it. So I agree. But philosophy was the means in which we discovered it. So it's hard to then take these concepts like science and then try to make them into immaterial things that are not observable, and then call them science. Like that becomes, at that point, I think we're talking about philosophy, and it's okay that we talk about philosophy.
Well, no, but I there's one specific point that I would like to illustrate, right? And that point is that you can accept something as valid scientific theory based in logical reasoning.
Yeah.
Based in logic, right? You cannot. Here's the thing: is if something is illogical, it cannot be. It can't be a scientific theory, right? It's not scientific, okay?
I mean, I agree with you in principle, but in reality, I think that society disagrees. But not because you're wrong.
They don't disagree. This is like this is something.
I say that because if you were to say that about like this new woke LGBTQ plus phenomenon, I would argue that although in principle you're correct, in reality, that doesn't seem to be how it plays out. Like, I agree with you though. I think in principle you're absolutely right. I think that it makes even more sense to apply logic to science to really make sure that science is firm. I just don't think we're doing that. Like, I think we are, but I don't think
but like,
a lot of the world is doing that. That's what I'm just bringing it back to my issue with.
Okay, but why on earth? I don't really care if other people are gonna live in fantasy land, right?
I know.
Like.
Well, you don't care.
That's on them.
The issue I have though is that now that kind of fantasy land is being forced on my children, and it's also being forced on me. And because I believe exactly what you said, I think that we can apply logic to science in a way that will give meaningful truth. I do. I think that should be how we look at science. But because that's not necessarily how we look at science today, science has become almost this, hey, if I'm the interpreter of science, I'm the orator of truth, and if you don't believe me, you just don't believe in science. But I disagree. I think that if you apply logic and rationale and observe, we can apply the observable phenomena with the immaterial. You can even do that through laws of contradiction or non-contradiction. I think that you're absolutely right. Spot on. I don't want this to come off as like I'm disagreeing with your premise. I'm just saying it seems to be that there is a large group of people that would disagree with you on an intuitive level. Maybe not even on a cognitive level,
and
like
that's,
on an intuitive one.
They would. The same reason that I would agree, that I would disagree with the statement. Okay, so determine the truth of this statement.
Sure.
Okay, just this statement at face value. The moon is made of cheese.
Yeah, it is. It's delicious. I've had so many delicious. I took crackers to the moon and just started eating cheese. It's so good. Does it feel like cheese? That's my real question. Does it identify as cheese?
It doesn't matter.
If it identifies as cheese, then it's cheese. If it feels like cheese, it must be cheese. And how am I to really choose how the moon feels? Obviously, I'm being facetious.
Fair.
That is definitely an argument. Does it feel like cheese?
So
like,
here's the point.
What cheese really is.
Here's the point: is that statement, the statement itself, is a true. Yes. It's a true testable it's a true statement. It's not logically flawed, right?
And if we understand what cheese is, which we do, and we were to then can there even be dairy in the moon? Or could it be comprised of a fermented dairy? We know that it doesn't have any dairy, and it doesn't have. Now, could there be moon on the cheese, or sorry, cheese on the moon? Potentially, that statement could become true. But is the moon made of cheese?
No. So the logical statement is a true statement, and that's why this is actually like this is intended to be a trick question. It is a true statement, and the problem is that like every single part of us wants to disagree with that because we know the result. We know that the moon is not actually made of cheese. However, the statement itself is true.
Yes, it's a statement that claims to be true.
And the thing is, right, is the statement itself is a valid scientific, testable, observable statement. Right? And it can be either proven or disproven. Right?
Yes.
So, and just because you don't have the information to do so, right, it doesn't really matter. the statement is true 100% of the time. As a statement. As a statement.
Yes.
Right. Right. Now, the reason that it's true 100% of the time is because let's say that let's say that there was like some sort of question. Let's say, is the moon made of cheese, right? That is not a true statement. Because, or actually, let's say that the moon is made of cheese when the sky is yellow, right?
Well, I mean, I have yet to see the sky yellow. It might be true.
Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem with this, right? Is that because we don't know if the moon is made of cheese or the sky is yellow, right?
It's a maybe.
It's not a true statement. It's not a valid true statement, right? Because there's it's
unknowable.
based on right. It's based on two indeterminate factors, right? Now, anything.
I mean, you're talking about philosophy now, like, and I agree with this.
But this isn't philosophy. This is actually this is high level math, right?
I know, but they stem from philosophy. This is all like I learned
philosophy.
this in philosophy
is based in math.
The other way around.
No, philosophy is based in math.
Based in philosophy. It comes from a love of wisdom. I'm telling you, it is. It's not the other way around. Like, we discovered math through philosophy. We didn't discover philosophy through math.
No, I don't think so, because philosophy does not always agree with math.
Philosophy, okay, math couldn't have existed without philosophy. It just would not have existed. Not the way we understand it. Like, even the concept that you're talking about, the law of contradiction, is a philosophical concept in itself. It stems back from Aristotle. Like, I'm just saying, a lot of... So, okay, let's just bring it back to something that's a little separated from math and philosophy, but I think it illustrates this concept. What do you believe? Do you think it was the egg that came first, or the chicken?
What's the question?
Do you believe it was the chicken that came first, or the egg?
I mean, I don't believe that it was either of them. Actually, I would say I believe it was the chicken.
Yes, I agree. I think it was the chicken that came before the egg, because before it was a chicken, it was something else.
Okay, but here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. Is that that's not something that I would be okay. That would not be a scientific
no, it isn't. No,
statement.
No, it isn't. It isn't. But based
right,
off.
And I couldn't make the argument that it is.
No. Well, no, that's wrong. You could make the argument, but it wouldn't be a provable argument.
No, it would be disprovable as an argument.
But it is equally provable.
No, it's not equally provable.
Yes, it is.
No,
yes, because the reason I say that is there will be an argument that would support this, and those arguments should be and
flawed.
can be based in something that's provable.
No, the argument would always be flawed, 100% of the time.
Both ways.
Right. Okay. Right. Exactly. That's why it's not a valid scientific claim.
No,
because
both
arguments would be flawed.
But now we're talking back to the concept that I'm trying to say. I think that philosophy and math is much like the philosophical question: what came first, the chicken or the egg? And you're arguing that the chicken came first. Math.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No,
fair.
I wouldn't argue either of those. You asked what I believe, not whether or not I am convinced of one over the other.
Okay. Well, I'm asking that you yeah okay well semantics now.
Would
The
it- I wouldn't-
idea
I
though
wouldn't- I
is
would
very
never-
akin to
I
this
would-
concept of
Yeah, I
did the
couldn't.
chicken come first or the egg
It's-
come
it's
first?
not a
Because,
justifiable
we
statement.
we happen to know that math had been developed during the time of philosophers, at least the ones that we tend to study in great detail. Things like the Pythagorean theorem, calculus, geometry. These are things that were taught and understood and discovered because of people who had philosophia, love of wisdom. And so I think that's why I say, did the chicken come first or the egg? I think that it came from a love of wisdom, and they discovered math. So I think that they both could coexist at the same exact time. I think that math wasn't necessarily something that was invented, although we have invented methods to try to understand it better, but ultimately it was a discovery. It was a discovery that happened, and so that's really what I'm trying to say. Like these concepts that become quote unquote ingrained in science, I think dismissed its foundation, which is philosophia. That's all I'm saying.
How you guys' day going?
What
Going well.
What did
Going
I
well.
go into? Nothing has changed. They're still the same. Having disputes left and right, 24/7.
Well,
Disputes.
I hope you guys are ready. In 15 minutes, the phase servers get released.
What does?
Greetings.
Project Faye?
Project Faye.
Do not
Project-
move
oh,
on
that's
your
right.
bets.
Yeah, what he's saying is Posey doesn't have the ability to have a meaningful conversation like we typically have. So he's just
Oh, I do
he's just
not think
judging.
that's
He's
a
just
conversation.
criticizing.
That's you're literally going against your own things you said before.
What's
You
that?
said you're trying to have a discussion, not a conversation or a monologue. That's literally what you said. That's
Yeah.
why you're fucking literally yelling over each other. And when
American,
Scott even
what do you
asked you,
expect?
can he finish his sentence? You were like, no, we're not having a conversation. We're trying to have a discussion. What?
Well,
This
it's
is not a
because
monologue."
Adam he has a hard time being patient when he has a point.
What do I?
I'm so sick of it! Honestly, I feel stupid whenever I'm here just not saying a single word and you're like having
You're-
fucking some third dimensional conversation, like fucking chatting complete insane stuff that I've never even heard about or I even want to know about. I'm just
So-
like, bro, what am I even doing? What is existence nowadays?
Like Adam, you're the kind of person that like you need to like take on things as they come. You can't really like see something as like a big picture because you'll end up forgetting about things that are like that you want to remember. I do the same thing.
I was gonna say I think you're projecting, but I can take I can take the criticism as well, but I think you're also projecting.
I'm making an observation based on my own experience,
Sure.
my own self-observation of myself.
Based off your own experience, like
Well, you okay? Otherwise you're just
I'm not
a dick.
making any statements
I
about
mean,
you, Scott.
I mean, would you rather? The truth is, it's either that or you actually are just like not willing to like let me speak. In which case,
That's not the case.
I don't appreciate you.
Yeah, you obviously know that's not the case.
Right.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have conversations.
Exactly.
So, but Posey may not recognize it as conversation.
Well, and
Because he joins in.
that's why I was saying that's not a big deal to me because I acknowledge that. However, I do think like it's something that is very off-putting to a lot of people, as they have many times communicated to me.
Sure.
I mean, a
And
lot
you
of
know
people
what I-
are
and
not
you know
willing
what
to
I
have
say?
conversations with me because of that.
And fair.
Although much less now. It used to be more of a problem, but I'm very like cognizant of it to the point that I like would rather not say something and like maintain that somebody really like respects and acknowledges my position and just like let something go, then I would like make a point and like no longer have them like hear me. In most cases, not all. Obviously, like if somebody says something that's like, okay, well, like we just need to put a stop to this, like that obviously a different scenario.
I do have to say, I have had much easier conversations, and it's not always necessarily my intention to have easier conversations. So that's fine.
Hey, Gus, what did you do with your morning? Thanks guys for asking. Like,
yeah.
I was there, like, I was part of a community thing today. Thanks for asking, guys. Wow.
Yeah, how well, you joined us. You joined us, alright? We were mid-conversation.
This conversation, mid-dispute, motherfucker.
Well, no. We because we disagree. So we agree on so much that this point I think is really where our disagreement comes, and it's such a nuanced point that it's sometimes hard to describe it, and it does create again moments where it may come off as long-winded, but it is very nuanced. But it's fine. And you know what, Posey? Maybe I don't have these conversations with you. That's fine. I don't necessarily want to bore you or make you feel like I really like meaningful, deep conversation. Yeah.
I mean, everyone has a different type of conversation. Like, everyone has their own tick.
Right.
I'm just not partaking in the conversations that I have no clue about the topic.
I mean, that's fair.
I would be like, oh, I know something about it, though I did not even care about it.
Yeah, fair. We were literally just talking about, like, it stemmed from this idea that science has gone from something that's an empirical, observable, repeatable thing, whereas now it's becoming something that is dwelling into, like, metaphysical and religious and even philosophical concepts.
Okay, well,
you have no idea what we're talking about.
No, that's what I'm not even like trying to do.
Yeah.
So much less stress for me.
I guess to the entire point, like I was going to specifically say, like, regarding the Big Bang Theory, I think that like the theory itself is scientifically acceptable. It's how that theory breaks down, right? That like it could fall apart, and in many cases does.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't necessarily disagree or agree with the idea of the Big Bang. I don't necessarily think that it should be something that's off the table. I think it's certainly possible. And on some level,
because it's a scientifically accurate, it's a valid truth statement.
Right.
Is what it is.
They can apply this to logic and rationale and come to a conclusion of maybe. Right? And that maybe is a strong maybe because it's reinforced by a lot of other things that they will apply to it, right? So I get that. My issue, though, is that oftentimes the same people who will tell you, listen, Big Bang is how everything happened, trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. I don't have proof, but, like, I have really, like, if you just follow the logic here with me, like, it makes sense.
Yeah, just follow the science.
Also say, listen, what you believe, though, it can't happen, it's impossible, it's like very atheistic in that approach, and because of that, it's essentially, it feels like a hypocritical position to hold, right? On one hand, you can only observe and observe and replicate and do tests on the empirical, but then here we are making statements of faith and conviction that cannot be true with anyone else's position of faith and conviction that may also hold very similar logos. Like you can follow the same idea of like for example, the hologram theory, literally the concept of religion without God. oh, we're all in this simulation, man, and like nothing's real, and everything you do here doesn't matter. And to be honest, it's all just fake. It's just we think it's here, but it's not. It's like, well, that sounds like every fucking religion since the beginning of time. So like, all you're doing is describing religion without religion. Religion without God. That's all you're saying. And so, I don't know. I find that hypocritical. There's moments to be hypocritical. And I'm
Sure.
not saying you hold those.
Sure, but I don't know. I find very little point in having discussion with irrational people.
Well, but these people often say that they're people of science.
Okay, so like
for example, Fauci,
I'm sorry,
he
a
is
coke
science.
addict might say that they're not addicted to coke, but like,
right.
like, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, okay,
Oh.
I was wrong. My bad. Like, I can't help if people lie to themselves. Because that's what it is, right? It's people lying to themselves. And because if people are really willing to understand themselves, right, and their own positions, then they will always come to the conclusion of having an either valid position or not, right? But and the other thing is, like, I mean, I would think that people who are willing to assume something to be true after it has been disproven
What the fuck?
have a like that's just like I don't know. Like, by the way, I made one of you guys a TFT account. Or both of you.
Oh yeah, it's just people can play US.
Yeah, it's on the FC Google sign in.
Nice.
What's the password?
I don't know. I sent you the login info. I just had myself logged in, so no idea. I think I probably have it saved in like Google or something.
Well, if people start playing on it, I'll put a battle pass on it, so people can get excited to level it up and shit.
Is there, by the way, is there like a rank range limit for queuing with players?
I don't think so.
No, you can't queue any masters.
Well, yeah. So I know that masters and above can only queue solo, and I know that I want to say that diamond and above can only duo queue, right? But I was more so wondering like I'm platinum, right? Am I allowed to queue with silver players?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, and even if you're not able to play ranked, you'll be able to play normal.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course we can play normal. I got there and I was like, wait a second.
Okay, fuck
because honestly, like the difference in skill levels from like even like golds to platinum is tremendous.
Yeah.
You don't know what? No, you know what?
Shrimp.
Okay.
Shrimp.
Just wait. You bubble gum. I got the bubble gum.
Shrimp jumbo, shrimp jambalaya, shrimp grits, shrimp biscuits.
That's like a box of chocolates.
Dude, I played a casual game on the FC account when I made it. 22 rounds in a row win and just like killed everybody.
This morning I went to a community talk. Now I went to a community talk this morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I talked about how to revert your life from being a hoodlum.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really
That's actually that. Yeah, I was gonna say that actually is a lot of people. They need to hear that kind of shit. Seriously.
like
Especially nowadays.
So the mayor of the council, she heard about my story of being stabbed and how I've got young children and how I've changed my life. And she basically wanted me to come every week to these teenagers coming out of juvie or going to juvie and basically just tell them the story of how I can help them, how they can help themselves, how to really change shit. Yeah, one of the teenagers I met today, he literally wants to kill himself. Like, he literally...
Well, I bet there's a lot of pain and trauma that's associated with that kind of life path.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah, I told
That's why I say the path of Kali is not for everyone. Like, you may not come to that.
Like, I'm literally not a therapist. The thing I did was, I literally like take a 5-minute interview in the shop, like 16 pets, the 6 pets, gave it to them. I said, look, you don't have to tell me, you just write it down. You see people speak, you can just write it down. And some of the things that they wrote down was wild. Wow. You know, like I help.
Hell yeah. No, that's really good. To dedicate your time and experience to help others, like, you don't realize the kind of impact that ends up making for your own children. You know? You should.
I mean, I have
That's a good thing to do, man.
I have children. Like, I have to, you know, whatever their schedule is, that's my schedule.
Right, but I'm saying, like, if you can dedicate your time to helping someone else, like, that's going to make such a domino effect in ways that you may not even recognize. But it is really profound.
Yeah,
because even if you help just one child, that could save hundreds of lives. Because you don't know what ends up what kind of path that person might go down. You don't know the children that they might have, or the family and people that they may end up touching because of your. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a domino effect. That one person can turn into 2, turns into 4, turns into 8, and the next thing you know, there's hundreds of people that were affected just because of this one interaction. Hell yeah, dude. I'm proud of you. I'm sure your children, they may not recognize it, but they'll be proud of you when they eventually hear about that.
Yeah, my wife was really happy to hear that.
Oh yeah, she's a mother. You know, she doesn't want to see children going down that path. You know? They're babies, man. They just have a whole life in front of them.
One of the kids I met today, he recently got robbed at knife point.
Oh wow.
He was telling me how did you want that much money? I was like, I just told him, like, I mean, for a month after I got stabbed, like 2 months ago, people's house, they wanted to shop.
Oh, it's probably traumatic too. Like, let alone the injury. It's like, bro, like, who's out to get me right now?
I was literally like, to be honest, the way to overcome it is by time. I'll be really honest. How do I talk to people? That I'm a bird. I'm a bird.
The temple of Etera.
I convinced them to buy a Switch. So one kid bought a Switch. He literally bought a Switch because I told him to get Chandler Zanga.
Oh, a Switch? A Nintendo?
Yeah.
I have a Nintendo Switch.
Told him to buy one. You know, buy any game. It doesn't matter if it's a kid's game. If you explore the genre of games, there's a massive community out there that you can help.
You need to find a better influence. Because if you're surrounded by people who are all in that lifestyle, like, it's really hard to get out of it.
That's always the case. Is like, if you're not willing to leave your lifestyle, like the people that you're around that are in that lifestyle, like,
that are promoting that lifestyle.
It's almost. I mean, that's how people stay trapped in almost any sort of like problematic like thing is if they're not willing to change the people that they are around. Because like
How do I change my character? Like, I don't think it's I'm playing man. No. I should play them. Hell yeah.
Smaller hitbox.
no, what are you playing?
What do you mean? I'm playing the beefy.
The beef.
Are y'all playing Faye?
Bro, what is this? Oh, I don't need get myself a shoe.
I prefer a thicker woman too, so I don't play her. I ain't saying fat, I'm just saying thick with 2 C's, you know?
Yeah.
Big difference. Alright, let's see. Alright. What's your name?
That's tough. I don't know what the fuck.
Okay, check your social. Now, are you able to join?
I wish we did give it.
Can we?
Yeah, it says give it.
Yep. No, it won't let us make a guild. Not right now.
Don't worry, I got this. Here's my help. Attack speed. Shayu. I think this R is kind of crazy. Like, let's go do.
I'll show you my ult in just a second. Alright, here's my ult.
You basically get like trigger.
A ton. Oh my gosh, look at all those freaking turrets. Oh, you hurt yourself?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Alright, let me change my hotkeys real quick.
So does take damage equal 25% counter as 100% recovered immune damage, but gain 20% speed as a 100% attack speed. The next attack extends the duration. The attack speed. Spin around while being. So I get immunity when I spin.
Oh, bro! I give you a shield. That's cool. Alright, so let's play. Press play, bottom right.
Yeah, wait, yeah.
Oh,
Is it
okay.
close to come?
We can all play duos right now.
Oh.
Right. We can like do snipe each other.
Posey, do you have Project Pay?
I think he does.
He does, because he's the one who told me to stop.
He jokes on him. He told everybody to sign up, but he's the only person who didn't get a key.
Please watch this. I hope you know that I've chosen the most broken character. Okay, the vision.
Yeah, but make sure I get them too.
Yeah, I took 3 wounds and 2 wounds. I'm pretty sure I end up killing myself. But in fact, I'll give you
No, let's keep each just green each. Oh, over here?
So is it recovery damage?
Good question. I'm just gonna use my ult real quick. Might as well. This looks like a boss.
I don't want to step in the mine. There's some boots in here if you want.
I died. Be careful!
Wait, let's see. No, I don't think I can rush it.
No, you can. It literally says someone can pick you up.
I'm trying to. Okay. I'm gonna get this timing. Can I not raise you? I can't move. I can't. That's it. Bitch. Okay, can I raise you now? I need more health. Fuck.
I didn't even know you go mock there.
Good thing. But fuck. Not enough health. Okay. Maybe I can wait for the thing cooldown. Maybe I do this. Would that? In case anyone comes.
Wait, I'm up there too. Oh! Someone is here. It's a spawn point.
I know. But they didn't take their meds.
Nope.
They didn't take any meds.
That's odd.
Okay,
Like, hell yeah, I could go. Got him. Oh, unclaimed reward. Oh. Be careful. I think this is the warden's probably where it's at. Oh, I like that.
okay. It's cool. Doesn't seem bad. This is a dash, okay. I feel like movement's gonna be huge in this game.
Yes, that's why I'm like, this one seems pretty good. Look at this, bro. Look at this. Come on. Ah. And then I can do this as well.
How much energy spent to get himself spins around? See, this was 5 damage. Creating an area that explodes after 1 second. This.
Fey thing on?
If I
Yeah.
hit you with this, this stun.
That's why I was asking if you had it.
I dash, boom, boom, blood clap, boom, blood clap, boom, 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 blood clap.
Bomba clat.
It's only
Hey,
2
Posey,
rolls though, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to hit them with.
Hey Posey, have you been playing any Lost Depot?
Nope.
I think we can go. Let's go. Oh wait, search.
Yes, sir.
I'm the dragon boy. The
Dragon God.
I am the true Welshman. This is King Arthur.
And I got the longbow.
I got with the Welshman.
Let's go. It slows. That's good. So I have a slow, and I have a
So I have a stun. This is a stun. Spacing dodge.
Oh, this is also a slow.
So you can see if I'm hitting someone, and then they're getting too close. Skabadoom. Stunned.
Can you stun them?
Yeah, I can stun them.
Oh my gosh. Okay, perfect. When you stun them, I'm just gonna use my ultimate and just elite
But
them.
we have to be very careful because I'm heavily mana based.
Oh no. Well, that's not a bad thing.
I think this character's gonna be really good though, not gonna lie. Like a stun in a game, it's kind of huge. Okay. I'm going in the back. You're in the back.
No. We literally opened the bag at the exact same time.
It's not clear.
Alright, here. You can grab what's in the bag now.
Yeah, I'm just clearing it.
Oh!
I released the
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I could charge that! That's incredible.
There's different
will be up.
apparently different abilities. Either you hold or tap.
Yeah, that's what I noticed.
Let's clear this up here. Maybe I should put. I'm gonna put a ward in our spawn in case someone tried to rush us.
How do I place a ward again?
See, you have to have it in your inventory.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
If I'm heavily.
Oh
mana based.
no! I see what you mean by in your inventory.
Yes.
Well, I guess we both have only one health pot.
Stay safe.
By the way, you should get, if I'm not mistaken, these are used for crafting. Oh, can I? I can! That's so good! It phases through things.